call the shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I'm not a savage, you've been distracted, your best my average. There's a reason for that's a fact, so they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan. I ain't need that, outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that, wonder when I'm gonna peak at, and that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after.
We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Book a plane, fly away. We will never be the same. And as long as you are mine, come on and run away. We wanna run away.
We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy, 'cause they don't understand what we're after.
We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. We're no kids no more. I need to feel alive in this dreadful town. I'm running out of time, and as long as you're mine, I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high-pitched feel, baby. We shared a cigarette.
Good evening, morning, night, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a voice you've probably not heard in a long time, but it is Haroldson, joining back once again for simply the final installment of the United Nations tournament, which of course is going to be the grand final. And well, we're starting off with carried off, so it's looking like already it's going to be a very interesting match. It is going to be between the current, well, I mean, three of them are on the infected side right now, that being Dr. Sheep, Big Dog, and Caution. Those three making up Favela. There is also going to be the survivors we're currently waiting on, which is going to be ShonK, which I do like that name. I think that's a very good one. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful morning, evening, night, or afternoon. For me, it is actually 10 p.m, being in the United Kingdom over in Europe. This, of course, being the United Nations tournament, and it united a lot of nations, actually. This, Caution, for example, being from Australasia, or Oceania, whatever you want to call it. And we've got some Europeans, we've got some Latin Americans. We had everything in this tournament, and it all comes down to this final decision here. This is the final chance for these two teams. Only one of them can come out on top here, and we do have all of Favela switching onto the infected. We are ready to go at least halfway. There is Nevermore as well, that being one of the American lots. So we do actually have a very wide range of player locations here. And it appears that Ramirez has already met Dr. Sheep. So yes, this is going to be an installment of potentially 3 maps, which is very, very exciting, I must say. Carried off is the first. However, in the other decisions were Die Scraper and Hard Rain Downpour, which makes it very interesting because none of the default Left 4 Dead 2 maps are going to be played in the grand final. So that's, of course, that's exciting for me at the very least, because it's, as a commentator, I want the interesting maps, and this is a very dark, very gloomy map, lots of high ground. For example, that Charger Hunter there on the rooftop, and so on and so forth. So very, very unfriendly map to the survivors. Shouldn't be too long, actually, before we go live. There's a couple people AFK, but nonetheless, we are pretty much all here. Not really much more needs to be done, other than just the players themselves readying up. And I do believe we also should limit the slots as well, if not done yet. So Keo, Loud MB, Ramirez, and Nevermore. Pretty strong lineup against, of course, Favela. Though, I mean, both of them are grand finalists, so you have to be the best to make it there. And that being Caution, Big Dog, Dana, and Dr. Sheep. Again, with that huge variety of regions, with OCE combining with Europe over on Favela, so on and so forth. $150 cash prize as well, in total. So they're not playing for nothing. They will actually be able to get a cash prize. Biggest one, of course, being the first place. So that is what they're fighting for. It appears we have 3 people AFK anyway. So just gonna be me rambling for the time being. It's looking like they are going to run a fairly shotgun-heavy setup, which I imagine they would, to be honest. They do seem like the type of player who would want a shotgun. They are definitely mechanically gifted at this game, and, well, I mean, both of these teams are capable of pulling a lot out of the bag, so just going to have to see in this grand final, beginning on Carried Off, but as I've said before, we can also take into account Die Scraper and Hard Rain Downpour. ShonK are now beginning, both ready up and clan tag up as well. So thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Just got the request there to limit slots to 12, followed by a word I will not be saying on live stream. Interesting. That's a lot of profanity coming out. But yes, my name is, of course, Haroldson. For those unaware, I will be bringing to you the commentary for this evening, morning, night, or afternoon. Camera work is going to be done by the one, the only, Krycha. Unfortunately, there will be a little bit more silence, though, because we are waiting on a few members on the ShonK area, just to kind of get back to their stations. So excited to be here, though. I really am. I mean, grand finals, I absolutely love commentating a grand final. I will never pass that opportunity. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day, though. As I say, I am not really able to check the chat right now because I don't trust my computer. I feel like it is going to completely do a backflip on me if I dare tab out. So I'm going to resist that and not tab out. But it means I won't be able to keep up with the chat. So I do apologize if anybody is sending anything for my attention. More than likely, I won't be able to get it, and a big reason is also going to be because, you know, grand final, I need to focus and whatnot. So hopefully that is all good and swell with everything. We are all here and ready. Yep. I don't really know who else is supposed to be here other than myself and Krycha, to be honest. And I wonder if oh, okay, right, yeah, that might be the Facebook version of it, I believe. So yeah, that's fine. Still in a bit of downtime, though, ladies and gentlemen. We won't be going live just yet. So if you want to risk it for a biscuit, then feel free to BRB and get yourself a drink or anything of the sort. We do have a little bit more downtime here as we establish everybody's slot and then get it limited. Poor avocado. Interesting. Yeah, guys. If you are able to join this game, please remember that that's a mistake. You're not supposed to be able to. Please do not join and do as this individual is doing with the spam. Let's try to keep it organized, ladies and gentlemen. I do love that little detail, actually, of that crashed helicopter with the fire. That's quite nice. That's a good touch. Still seeing these survivors rocking that 3 shotgun setup, actually, so I wonder if they will stick to that when we go live. It is the pump shotgun as well, so it's less powerful than the chrome. Damage-wise, about the same, of course, but, you know, the chrome shotgun definitely has a narrower bullet spread than the pump shotgun, which I'm sure many of us have actually witnessed before in the form of being skeeted despite the fact that you were several meters away in one shot. That is something the chrome shotgun can do. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have been given the go-ahead in terms of the slots. Everybody is in, and we should be going live pretty darn soon, ladies and gentlemen. This being the grand finals of the United Nations tournament, where they will be competing for the $150 cash prize total. They want as much of that as they can possibly get. Good lucks and the have funs are all being thrown out by these teams, and they shall be looking to get this party started. It's going to be really interesting to see how this one shapes up. Interesting pings as well. They're not quite as bad as I thought they would be, actually. So considering the variation of regions, this ping result is actually pretty good. Let's think about that. Just need a couple more people to ready up and we shall be going live. So maybe my hype was for naught. The AFK has gone. Indeed, we are getting people tagged up. We are so close to going live, ladies and gentlemen. It does look like the first setup is going to be a Hunter Charger Spitter as well. That's already looking pretty good for the Special Infected. And a Jockey to complete that as well. Very much a good amount of high ground, actually, for the Special Infected as well. So that's going to favour the Charger, because you can't really M2 Chargers. So if they fall onto you, you know, it's not like with a Hunter or a Jockey, when they land in front of you, you can melee them. You can't actually do that. 2 Chargers, which makes them very difficult to deal with. And, well, we are going live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. The Grand Finals, the United Nations Tournament, 2 remaining teams, Favela and ShonK. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Hunter is already pre-spawned ahead of the survivors on the inside, just breaking down some doors for the time being, nothing much else. They are aware of his location. They tried to get a few shots through the wall, but they couldn't quite get it. In moves Coach, last but not least. Charger's moving in, can't make a connection. Neither can the Hunter, actually. 2-shot indoor skeet. Jockey lands behind, but not for very long at all, and that's going to conclude the attack. Very well played to get that 2-shot skeet, especially indoors. Indoor skeets are not the easiest thing in the world, because Hunters can pounce from wall to wall, and that can be quite hectic. So far, we're looking at a Smoker and a Boomer, followed by Hunter and Charger. And as we can see, they're over a bridge, so the Charger would need to make this count. Smoker from behind isn't able to make the connection. Neither is the Boomer. I like his thinking there, to be honest, but he wasn't able to make it pay off. He will, however, be able to get the respawn, and that means they didn't really get rid of his life. There is a Hunter to the right of the survivors. They are going to have to go through this little small kind of fenced off area where you have to go through and out. Hunter is pouncing around onto the roof, just simply repositioning, nothing else just yet. Charger, Smoker, Hunter and Boomer. Charger rockets in, Boomer lands onto 1. Smoker behind, however, the Hunter again is dealt with so efficiently by these ShonK guys. Charger moves in for 1 more scratch before meeting his demise, and that's going to conclude the second Special Infected attack for Favela. Traversing over the lorry is the current survivor side. They're going to be moving up the staircase and simply 2-trigger the tank. Jockey moves in first, gets a 1-shot skeet actually from Ramirez there. Nicely played by Ramirez. Tank is on top of the roof as we speak. Hunter, Smoker, excuse me, does move in. Wasn't able to make anything happen though. They do also skeet the rock with very good ease. First tank going to be in the hands of Dr. Sheep, or just simply Sheep. Charger and a Boomer is what the Special Infected have, and in 1 more second it's completed with a Jockey. Charger gets 2 scratches onto Ellis, which isn't too bad because he was getting rid of that spawn. Forklift is traveling to the survivors, but it does actually land in a very bad position, actually. He could still make something happen with it, potentially, but the first hit's going to be very, very key there. I don't think he's going to be able to get the forklift. So, Jockey, Hunter, and Boomer for this tank fight. Tank's going to be making the first move here. Down he drops to the survivors. Hunter is getting a nice stumble onto Ellis. That's a double punch. Hunter actually got some good damage there as well. Jockey is moving in. That boom is onto 2 survivors as well. Tank is doing very good so far. 1 punch onto Rochelle. Another punch onto Nick. He's spreading the damage. Jockey is going to land as well. It's looking very good for the Special Infected here, actually. Very good, evenly split damage. Now back onto Coach. He's going to take 2 punches and meet his in-cap. That's going to be a rock onto Rochelle. All 3 survivors down, all but 1. Smoker is looking for the last person, does indeed get the last person. Tank doesn't choose to throw the rock at her, however, the in-cap survivors clear the tongue. Tank has actually been eliminated by the lonesome survivor, Rochelle. Smoker is trying to make that not a reality, though. Oh, and there's a tri-cap moving in. However, Smoker is unable to land the smoke until now. and Charger is using her as a human punching bag. Can't quite make the wipe happen though, ladies and gentlemen. Smoker's moving in. He doesn't want her to get the survivor up, and she does actually get delayed there. Spitter is looking to move in. Does move in onto Ellis. However, he does get out of the spit in time. That wasn't Ellis, that was somebody else, but I forgot who it was. Never mind. Boom and rockets in. Gets a boom onto one survivor. That's pretty good that was only one, to be honest. That looked like it was going to be more. So they just narrowly escape the jaws of defeat, really. Let's be honest. That was a very narrow escape, and very well played to the survivors. Not in good health, but absolutely well played nonetheless for surviving that tank fight, which was a very good tank by Sheep as well. Smoker, Hunter, Jockey, and Charger. We have a quad cap. Let's see how this plays out. Hunter is looking to move in already. Everybody is moving in. Charger misses, though. That is actually nearly a tri-cap. Ends up only really being a dual cap. There is going to be some more scratches from various special infected, but that is all she wrote. Survivors continuing to make their way through. They have Coach, who is nearly slow. Other than that, they're looking okay. Rochelle being essentially all of their health bonus, so if they keep her in that kind of state, then they should be okay, but, you know, they've got a while to go, really. 73% of the map. Hunter moves in first. One shot shut down, though. Jockey over the lorry. Lands onto Rochelle, actually, the right target. That's exactly who they should be trying to damage, because she contains the health bonus. Coach being the last to jump onto the vans and buses, etc. Smoker and a Boomer, followed by Charger and Hunter. So we have a tri-cap here. On this gigantic sort of highway area. Boomer first. Can't quite get the boom. Charger moves in regardless, and as does the Hunter. However, as we see exactly there, not really much happened from that attack, so survivors will be happy with that and will be moving forward. Safe room really not far away at all. 97%, so a few more steps and they are pretty much there. Hunter being the only thing they had to worry about just in this moment, at least. Hunter is trying to slow the survivors down. In he moves, shut down so effortlessly though, and they do shut the door on the special infected and they make it to the safe room. And, well, they did actually, as I said, they kept Rochelle's HP. They did actually keep Rochelle's HP intact, and therefore they got a health bonus out of it. 33 points per successful survivor. Putting them at 532 points.
True, he was a zombie, but he was also our only pilot.
Man, that was some shit.
Going to be reversing the roles, of course. Infected, and Favela moves onto the survivor side.
Know where we are?
I believe we have one more person we're waiting on, and we shall be going live. But yes, roles reversed, even in the same way as the special infected as well, because they'll have the same setup to begin with. Charger, Jockey, Hunter, and Spitter, which they are looking like they're going to want to attack indoors with it, which of course is an agreeable tactic. And we're going live in the second half of the first chapter of this potentially very, very long installment. We could have up to 3 hours of gameplay on our hands here if this is as close as I think it's going to be. Survivors make their way slowly but surely into the little kind of kitchen area here. Hunter moves in first. Charger second. Jockey as well. There is going to be a stumble in the spit for a brief period. That's a bit more damage than even I was expecting, honestly. I didn't think it would go quite like that, so decent amount of damage. Onwards and upwards for the survivors, though. They will be making it past this alarm car with no distractions or any troublesome interactions. Jockey, Charger, Smoker, and Boomer. Let's see what they can do with this potential death charge opportunity here. They do miss the spawn at the van, though. The Smoker and Jockey are spawned up. Boomer tries to bunny hop in, but he can't quite make anything happen. They know where the Charger is, and the Charger can't make anything happen here whatsoever, other than just a little bit of damage, and that's going to conclude the entire attack. As the Smoker goes... excuse me. As the Smoker goes down.
Will you cut that shit out?
Survivors now approaching the fenced off area. This is probably going to be where they'll be fighting the tank as well. So tank being at 62%, Survivors currently on 35%. Hunter and a jockey with Boomer and Spitter, so it is a dual cap here. Hunter spawned up behind at the mobile toilets. One shot skeeted by Dana, though. He's not messing around. That's going to be a shutdown on the jockey as well. Spit does delay the Survivors a little bit, but not really too much. They can do that trick jump there over the little tents. Very well played to Dana, though, with that one-shot skeet, especially being on the ping that he's on, by the way. 181 ping and a one-shot skeet. That's impressive. That is definitely impressive. Charger, Smoker, and Hunter for the Special Infected. Tank going to be in the hands of Loud MB. So let's just see how this Charger, Smoker, and Hunter fares. Smoker is spawned up with the Hunter and Charger. It is a temporary dual cap. Charger is unable to land the connection, though. Not even with the help of the Smoker. Very well played to the Survivors. Tank is trying to get the forklift in right here. He does get a decent hit on it. That's much better than the previous tank. Let's say the previous tank by Sheep was very unlucky and very unfortunate that the forklift went out of play. Not quite the same luck for ShonK, though. They do actually get the forklift into play. Tank is going to be trying to make the stumpster. I mean, to be honest, actually, yeah, it's right behind the fence, so it's not in play. 3 boomed, though. That's not looking good for the Survivors. That's going to be one punch and the the body block, excuse me. Hunter is moving in, skeeted out of the air, though. My goodness, very well played to the Survivors here. They suffer an incapacitation, but that is all. That is all they have suffered so far. However, Tank is making a last-ditch attempt for the forklift here. In it travels towards the Survivors. It actually gets a hit onto Ellis there. So his health has been reduced. That could be key, potentially. Probably not, actually. The tank did die there, so Survivors up and running here with 3 people on very good HP. That's a much better position to be in. Boomer first is shut down in 2 seconds as well, so that was a bit of a delay. So there we have it, Smoker and Charger. And then 1 more second it will be a Spitter. Whether they choose to attack with 3 or 4 is of course up to them, but I imagine they're going to want to attack here. Which indeed they do. There's a stumble followed by a scratch, followed by a Smoker trying to pull into the Spit. Not really anything happening though. Jockey lands temporarily onto Ellis as well, and that will conclude the attack. Survivors still in a very good position here. Just traversing 60% and continuing, of course, to climb here. Quite literally up the spiraling staircase. So we have a Hunter, Charger, and a Jockey with the Boomer. Jockey and Charger and Hunter all spawning up and moving in. There's a bit of separation. Very, very nice tri-cap there. Phenomenal tri-cap by the boys on the Special Infected side. Jockey is still moving. Hunter is still up. And the stumble from the Boomer leads to his demise. But my goodness, that Jockey is still pounding away at Nick. And my goodness, that's a lot of damage. Very, very good tri-cap there. One of the best tri-caps I have seen, actually, to be honest. They landed so perfectly. That was very satisfying to see. That has reduced a fair bit of their health bonus as well, the Favela side, so they have to be careful here. They're not too far away from the safe room. 88%. It's a Boomer and Spitter with Smoker and Charger for this attack on this highway with many, many cars and vehicles. Charger might have a hard time here, though, to be honest, because this is quite difficult to land a charge when the Survivors have the high ground advantage over you. This is going to be the last attack that they manage, really, as well, so they have to try to make it count. I wonder if they will send the Boomer in first. I doubt it, but we shall see. I mean, the Survivors are bleeding out as well, so the longer they wait, the better it is for the Special Infected, so it is up to them to make a move. Boomer does go first, actually, but that's probably why he shouldn't have. does get himself shut down there. So down to 3 special infected. Smoker first, Charger second. Actually, that's unfortunate because the Spitter was a little bit late. Not to mention the Charger actually didn't charge as well, so that's unfortunate. However, the survivors do make it in with less of a health bonus than they would have hoped for. And, well, it keeps the game very close, which is what we're going to want to see. So, 532 points in the hands of ShonK. 724 points in the hands of Favela. As we move into the second chapter of Carried Off. Already looking like an interesting fixture of matches, really, so we're going to have to see how this plays out. Only, you know, just a little bit under 200 points, really, separating these two teams. Over, excuse me. And we're in. Chapter number 2. Just going to have to see how they do favour, of course, this being virtually no default maps being played in the grand final, so that does make things very, very interesting. Survivors now presently in this little caravan, which does allow the survivors to the special infected, excuse me, to spawn above the survivors. So it's sort of like Dark Carnival Chapter 2 in a way, actually, with the infamous safe room attack. And we're going live, ladies and gentlemen. Chapter number 2 of Carried Off in the United Nations Grand Finals. Smoker Hunter with Boomer and Spitter. There's a wall kick at the doorway, followed by a Spit, followed by a Boomer. Can't quite stumble anybody in the Spit, though, so really the damage is quite limited, and it looked a lot better than it actually was. Coach is going to clear the Spitter, but in front of his trajectory, so he is going to have to wait for the Death Spit there. That will slow him down significantly, actually. That, you know, 3 spawns are coming up, and they haven't quite left the safe room, only just now. Charger Jockey and a Hunter. Completed with a Smoker, so it's a tri-cap. Quad-cap. I mean, not tri-cap. In it moves. Hunter first, Smoker first, actually. Going to be landing the smoke, however, cleared quite easily. That's going to be a separation jockey with the help of the Charger. But again, the damage is quite limited, and that will conclude the attack with no successful quad cap. Has been a while since I've actually seen a successful quad cap, honestly. They don't usually happen, because they are quite difficult to land. But if that tri-cap from last round from ShonK is any indication, I think they're more than capable. They just need to make sure they do synchronize as they did in that time. Smoker and a Hunter with a Boomer and Spitter, so it's not quite as good as the previous setups. Smoker from behind onto Coach, trying to make use of the separation. However, the shot, the Hunter is just blazed into eternity there. Going to be Coach behind the survivors. Tanky is quite near, honestly. They are at 22% and Tank is at 33%, so... It does appear that Coach has self-assigned himself as the lookout guy, the guy who's always behind, just checking that there's no common infected that might catch you by surprise. Hunter moves in with the Jockey Stumble, and that's going to be a Hunter, Jockey, and, well, I mean, it's not quite the quad cap, but everything does land, it's just not at the same time, so that is going to conclude the damage. Not too bad, you know, Rochelle has taken some, and Tank is now going to be spawning, now in the hands of Nevermore, for ShonK. Survivors choosing not to stay inside because there is a hittable dumpster. Not dumpster, I'm lying. Forklift. He's still moving in one of those forklifts, though. Boomer's actually dropped onto the survivors. Hasn't vomited on anybody just yet, though. And gets shut down. That's a very unfortunate Boomer. Very unfortunate indeed. There's also a lot of common infected where that car just went, and they are just... Why are they even there? They're not going to do anything. Unless somebody gets boomed. That literally limits the amount of common infected that are on the map, so that's maybe a design flaw, I would say. Unfortunate, because that is going to limit it, but nonetheless, Nevermore's tank. Moving in some dumpsters now. He's got a massive selection of hittable items here. He has a car, he has a dumpster forklift, he has everything. In moves the car, not successfully, but, you know, it's somewhat in play. There is a dumpster in the bush. He tried to hit it, but he couldn't quite. In moves the dumpster, trailing up the hill here, as well as the car. Car's not in a good position, though, actually. He needs to be careful of that. He does miss a hit on the car as well. This hit is going to be crucial. It doesn't hit anybody, though. Bounces off the lamppost. He's still trying to make something happen with the car, but he has chosen to leave it. He gets caught in the car, actually, for a little bit. Dumpster is going to in-cap Ellis, though. That's a big opportunity opening up for the Special Infected. Smoker is going to be dealt with by Nick. However, Hunter and Charger all going for the same target. All three Special Infected on the same target. That's going to be an in-cap onto Rochelle, however. That's 2 people in-capped, and Nevermore's tank on 1,300, gradually declining here. He chooses to vacate the premises. That's a double in-cap, and a very good result, actually, for the tank, really. He made something out of nothing, and he still has this dumpster here, which is moving in. Can't quite make it happen, though. Neither can the Boomer, actually. The Boomer gets shut down there. Survivors are going to choose to push the tank, because he can't really do anything more on this HP. Survivors have the indoor area to get through, but as we say, the tank is, well, past number 2. 11% HP. He stands no chance. It is now AI. Possibly he could land a rock if they attack now, which they are choosing to do so. In moves the tank. He's climbing up the fence, though. He's throwing a rock. This is it, though. If he lands this rock, he doesn't land it, though, and he is going to lose his life as well. So, RIP to the AI tank. And well played to Nevermore's tank as well. You know, he got 2 in-caps out of that, and I didn't think it was looking very good for him until that surprise dumpster. So, well played to Nevermore. Charger and Hunter accompanied with a Boomer and Spitter. Survivors making their way over this this sort of catwalk area. Boomer looking like he wants to go from below, which is probably a wise decision, actually. That's a good Boomer spot. I imagine he's not going to go first, though, because that's probably not the best idea. In they move. Boomer's a little bit too late, so he chooses to relocate. Hunter is actually pre-spawned as well. To the left of the survivors. Let's just see how this happens. Going to be catching the first survivor off guard, I imagine. Boomer actually does choose to move in. They're choosing to possibly attack. Maybe that's a little impatient, though. Hunter is spawned up as well, but did not actually choose to attack, of course, because he's still just simply chilling. He's going to be moving in, though, with the Spitter, and the Charger's going to be landing as well in the Spit. That's going to be good damage. Could even be an in-cap. Isn't quite an in-cap, and that's lucky for Ellis, actually, so well played to him to get out in time. Only a Smoker to speak of right now. The remaining spawns have at least 5 seconds. They no longer have that tank to fear, but of course they still have the Special Infected attacks, and there's plenty more to be had. Hunter and Jockey both moving in. Nick is a little bit separated here, actually. Nice interception from the Hunter, and the Boomer gets a quad boom. Triple boom, excuse me. He stumbles 2 people away, and the guy who isn't boomed is now slow, so that's a lot of damage on the correct target. That's Nick reduced so significantly. Very well played Special Infected attack there. Not to mention they have an event straight after that, so that's absolutely brutal. We're only at 50%, and you know, it's looking good for the Special Infected here, but let's just see how it pans out, or continues to pan out. Hunter, Charger, and Smoker tri-cap with the Spitter. Hunter is spawned up first, Smoker second. In moves the Hunter. Smoker is going to be on coach there. And, well, the Hunter unfortunately steals the coach there, but he goes down regardless. He's going to be kept down for a lot longer as well with that death spit, so well played. They have eliminated one of the 2 health bonus containers. Now it's up to them to eliminate Nick's health bonus. because I'm sure people did notice there that most people attacked Coach there because he had the health bonus. So Boomer first, nice curve vomit actually over the roof there. That's onto 2 survivors. Hunter and Jockey both moving in, and the Charger is actually going to steal the Jockey victim there and get a bit more damage onto him. And that is all she wrote for the special infected. Remaining spawns will be eliminated. Not many common infected remaining, but it's a running crescendo, so you don't really have a chance to camp it. Technically you do, but not these guys, let's just say, because they are not on good health at all. Hunter and Smoker with the Boomer and Spitter. Boomer is trying to get a boom here, lands onto Nick, followed by the Hunter and Smoker, both for the same target. Nice smoke in the spit there, though. His health bonus has been eliminated a lot there. That was very well played by the Smoker. Very good quick reaction times to pull him in the spit. Favela, it's up to them now to keep that Nick HP if they want to have a good health bonus, let's say. Survivors only at 64% of the map, and, well, plenty more to be had. Charger, Jockey, and Hunter. In moves everything. Charger is going to land the charge as well as the hunt in the spit. That's going to be an in-cap, and the separation Jockey as well on Rochelle. That's 2 people in-capped, possibly even 3. Well, yes, indeed it is 3. Not to mention as well, Sheep, Ellis, is black and white. So is Caution, aka Coach. And so is Dana, aka Rochelle. So they have 3 black and white survivors. Their chances of making it have diminished rapidly. Hunter, Smoker, and Charger, followed by the Boomer. Smoker is moving in. Good distraction for the Boomer. That's going to be a dual cap, followed by the Smoker, which will make it a tri-cap, possibly. Very nicely done by the Special Infected. And a nice skeet, actually, before he went down there. He really went out with style, actually. Who's that? Big Dog. Yeah, he went out with style there. That was a skeet. Despite the fact that he knew he was being wiped, he still pulled out the skeet, so respect to Big Dog. And on we move onto the second half of this very exciting carried off installment. 1,213 points in the hands of the presently ahead Favela, but of course that can all change as ShonK are now on the survivor side and they have 532 points, which can be added to. It's going to be very dependent, really, on how they handle the simply the unforgiving nature of this chapter. You know, there's a lot of choke points on this particular chapter, so they do have to be very careful of that. Not to mention they also have to get past the tank, which in any hands of anybody on Favela is going to be scary. So I don't believe we've seen a Dana tank yet. I don't seem to remember that unless I'm brain fogging. Also quite excited to see a Ramirez tank as well. Some technical readjustments, ladies and gentlemen, while we get this live. Just need, I believe, that's a role been assigned to whomever's going to be joining. So yes, it's anybody's game as we speak. We are going live. And we're live. Smoker, Boomer, Hunter, and Spitter for the Special Infected, as the survivors are now going to be making their way out. It is a Dana tank, which I actually... maybe that was the caster's gift. However, the Boomer is unsuccessful above the survivors and does get himself shut down. Hunter and Smoker both moving in. Nice dual cap and a good stumble as well. So that's going to be Ellis revived in the spit. And that's going to be a lot more damage than really we probably expected. Especially considering it was only a 3-person attack. So very well played. Survivors making their way underneath this bridge here. They don't have any distractions just yet. The survivors will be able to make it to the gas station here, the petrol station, or wherever you're from. Charger, Jockey, and a Smoker with the Boomer that moves in first, but they know... oh, crucial shutdown there. Smoker first, Charger second. Charger actually gets a scratch charge, and he connects with an object as well. Jockey will be dead stopped, and he has a much more boring life than the Charger, but regardless. Well played to the Charger. They are piling that damage onto Ellis here.
Reloading.
Only a Hunter thus far. The rest of the spawns will be coming up just now. It's going to be a Hunter, Spitter, Boomer, and completed with a Smoker. That flickering light detail is very interesting, actually. That Boomer from behind is unable to land anything and is therefore shut down. Be careful of that flickering light, by the way, if anybody is sensitive to flashing lights, just in case. Smoker, Hunter, and Spitter. Of course, there is no Boomer. The Boomer is going to be replaced with either a Charger or a Jockey. Ends up being a Charger. So they do now have a tri-cap, and we have a bit of downtime here as the survivors are making their way. In moves the Hunter from behind. Smoker is actually going to be, well, allowing the Charger to land onto Ellis in the spit. Again, Ramirez, so unfortunate. He is the one taking all the damage here. Tank is going to be spawning. They will pass another set of pain pills to Ellis. This day in the tank is going to be scary, though. I can feel it. So let's just hope for the survivors' sake, of course, that they can dodge these hittables. They do shut down the Boomer, though, and that's not going to be very good for the Favela squad. Jockey and Smoker, though, very good separation spawns. The best separation spawns, actually, for a tank fight. Smoker can pull somebody down into the tank, with which, you know, there are forklifts in this area, so that's deadly. Jockey has spawned up as well. The dumpster is, the forklift is unable to land onto anybody just yet. Tank chooses against it. Smoker first onto Nick, pulling Nick quite far away from his survivors. However, that's not going to be a landed Charger. Charger is going to get many scratches onto Nick, though, because he has no melee weapon. Tank is going to have to try to spread the damage here. He's on half HP, gradually declining. He's spreading the damage very well, actually, and this is exactly what he should be doing. Very well played. That's going to be a double punch as well. An interception double punch. Intercepting Nick as well. My goodness, he's making the lives of those survivors absolute hell. My goodness, very well played. Hunter is pouncing around as well as the Spitter. It's not over just yet, though. That's going to be a very nice Hunter-Spitter combination onto Coach. He won't be in-capped, but he will be hurt by that. Nobody black and white, and, well, my goodness, that was a very well-played tank. And the Smoker did very good there, as well as the tank, to intercept everybody that went for the Smoker. Boomer, however, doesn't really have a lot of luck. Dana's tank was very good, but Boomer not so much. And the Boomer does get shut down. Smoker, Charger, and Jockey. That is going to be a purposeful incapacitation on Coach, followed by his revival. That's one in-cap per three of them, at least. Only person who hasn't been in-cap just yet is Rochelle. Or Kyo. We do have a quad cap here, in closed quarters. In it moves. That's going to be Smoker landing and a Jockey, but the Hunter steals the Jockey target. Charger is shut down as well, so survivors really, the only thing they can hope for here is distance points. They have really no health bonus at all. And they have a lot more of the map to get through. They haven't actually made it as far as their predecessors as well, so they're going to try to make it further, of course, but, you know, already they have a black and white survivor, that being Nevermore, aka Coach, so... On the survivors move, that's going to be a Charger behind the corner there. Well, pretty much everybody will be behind the corner. Spitter does spawn up, just to make the survivors a little bit more uneasy. Hunter was also spawned up, but you can't hear the Hunter when he runs.
I'm not lying, this hurts.
This is going to be quite lethal, I imagine, really. Very well played to dodge that Hunter, though. I mean, there is going to be a Hunt-Spit combination in the Spit and body blocks from the Spitter and the Death Spit. My goodness, it's not going well for the survivors right now. Just about still standing is Ellis. And, well, coach is black and white as well, so they have to be very careful. They are reviving everybody, and they are continuing to travel the map, but as we say, they haven't quite made it as far as Favela did, which is going to put them a little bit further behind than last time, so let's just see what they can manage here. They have a crescendo, so it's going to be tough. Coach is 1 HP black and white, so safe to say he will be he will be dead pretty soon, and he is indeed dead. That's going to be a nice dual cap as well. Decent clears by Nick, relatively fast. However, that will be an in cap, presumably onto Rochelle as well as Ellis. So only Nick remains here, and he's probably going to be falling to the ground here pretty soon. He chooses to go for Rochelle because all the common infected are going for Ellis right now, and he can defend himself. Spit moves in, and the Boomer actually, but neither of which are successful in killing Nick. Jockey is moving in. He has a Magnum potentially. No, and he doesn't. And that is all she wrote so far in this carried off installment. 1,213 points in the looking quite good Team Favela. 877 points in the hands of the currently trailing, but most certainly still in the game, Team ShonK. I wonder what the points are going to actually go up to in total, really, considering it's potentially a three campaign installment. Of course, being the grand final as well, so you can imagine why I'm so excited, because I love grand finals, and I love Left 4 Dead 2, and I love tournaments, so what can you really ask for? It's obviously very exciting to see that this community is still so dedicated, really, because there's been so many tournaments in the year of 2020 that's just passed, so a very active community, very dedicated. We now have a Ramirez tank, actually. Not right now, of course, when he does spawn, but we do have a Ramirez tank. Hunter is moving in with the Charger, excuse me, but Hunter gets skeeted. Boomer is shut down. Charger is trying to make something happen. He's on 200 HP, though, and that's going to be his death, followed by the Smoker's death, and 0 damage all across the board. Perfectly done. Going to be some downtime because they shut it down so efficiently that they have this time to relax now. That is the benefit of shutting down attacks with that level of proficiency. Hunter and Jockey with the Spitter and Boomer. To be honest, it's not the worst place in the world for a Boom Spit. Hunter is moving in. 5 damage pounds followed by a quadruple Boom, actually, and, well, a revival in the Spit as well from the Hunt-Spit combination. Spitter dying last, and that is all she wrote for the Special Infected. Decent damage onto Ellis.
Weapons over here.
28% and gradually climbing. Tank is a 62% tank, so we're going to have to see how that fares. Spitter did die last, so it is a quad cap actually with the Hunter, Smoker, Charger, and Jockey. Survivor's definitely favouring that heavy shotgun setup, which of course I prefer the shotgun over Uzi anyway, so I don't blame them. This is an interesting place for a quad cap actually, because there's so much high ground, and that does make things difficult, not to mention, you know, crescendo, so many things really not really favouring the survivors in this scenario, so let's just see how this does pan out. Hunter is ready to move in, and he does indeed do so, and the Charger is unsuccessful. Oh my goodness, though, the human punching bag Nick is taking such a beating from that Charger. That's just a Smoker Charger combination in a nutshell. It's just damage. It really is so lethal. The gate just opens for the survivors as they move forward. I mean, it wasn't a successful quad cap, but it was definitely a successful attack, regardless. Boomer and Spitter with the Hunter, and finally, the Jockey.
Reloading.
Hunter is spawned up below the survivors here. Jockey moves in, Hunter moves in as well. Hunter is going to land as well as the spit onto Nick. Doesn't quite land onto Nick as efficiently as he would have liked. Nick on 1 HP there, and that's going to be a final last-ditch attempt from the Boomer. 1 boom. They will purposefully incapacitate Nick as well, because when he's revived, he gets 30 HP. Instead of his current, his previous 1 HP. Charger, Smoker, and a Jockey. It's a pretty good setup, actually, and it's a Hunter, so it ends up being a quad cap again. This is attempt number 2 for the quad cap. Everybody just getting into position here. The survivors have no reason really to move forward right now. Hunter is crouched and ready. He is moving in. He falls to the low ground though. The smoker tongue is cleared. Charger is shut down with such proficiency, and the smoker can't really make much happen, honestly, and the jockey doesn't even choose to spawn up, so that pretty much summarizes everything. Jockey moves in last but not least, dead stopped and headshotted. Tank still not up yet, though, of course. That it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a Ramirez tank, which does spawn up just now. Spitter is looking just simply to get rid of the Spitter, because during a tank fight in an open area, not a good thing to have. Boomer is unsuccessful in his endeavors, unfortunately. He can't quite get the boom, and he does get himself shut down on the ladder as well. Tank knows where those hittable cars are, though, so, that's... It's good that he knows that as well, of course, because this is such an underplayed map compared to others, and that car is looking like it was going to hit Rochelle for a second there, and it nearly did. But she got out of danger in the nick of time. Tank above the survivors here on 10% frustration, gradually declining. On pass number 2 now. Charger moves in, just not really for any reason other than just to get rid of the spawn. And the tank does not like that telephone wire post, so he threw a rock at it. Smoker and a Hunter. I mean, the Hunter can go for damage bounces here as well, actually. He could potentially get a 25 here, so... Let's see if he does choose to do that, or if he chooses a more safe approach. Jockey, Smoker, and Hunter. It's a nice tri-cap, but it has to work, because they can't really afford to wait any longer. 25% of pass number 2. In he moves with the car, just barely missing Rochelle there. That's unfortunate. He's trying to chase Rochelle into the car. He does actually punch her while she was being smoked into it, which is unfortunate. Rock is going to try to hit a survivor, can't quite do so though. Nice stumble from the Hunter, which will then allow the tank to, well, I was going to say land 3 punches, but it ended up being 2. He did actually miss one there. However, that's all she wrote. Survivors do not get wiped. They manage to clear the tank, but they are looking a little bit worse for wear. And they've triggered an alarm car, so which is unavoidable, let's be honest, but of course, it's still not good news. Whether you could avoid it or not, it's still bad news. Boomerang Spitter with the Charger and Hunter. Charger and Hunter both landing in the spit. Boomer can't really make much happen from it, unfortunately. But look at that health bonus just diminishing. My goodness. We really do have a game on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen. This is shaping up to be very close. Survivors still in possession of a good amount of health bonus, though, and they're about 80% of the way through, so... Special Infected, the pressure is on them to eliminate that health bonus at the very least. Jockey and Smoker both moving in. Smoker is cleared very efficiently. Hunter is looking for an interception off the Smoker, and the Smoker does get a good separation pull, actually, and again, it is onto health bonus, so, they're choosing the right targets. But still, it's not a good result, really, for the survivors to make it with this health bonus, and looking like they're going to, really. Not many steps to go. 1 second and the Charger is up. Only remaining spawn, really. He has to make something happen here, and he moves in. Gets a little bit of damage from the stumble, but that's all he can manage. Survivors very comfortably making it into the safe room with 82 points per survivor. That's going to make them surpass the 2,000 point range at 2,141 points. This, of course, can change at any moment. of course. We are now moving into the second half. And ShonK are going to be playing on the Survivor side, and Favela over onto the Special Infected. And we're live. Safe room door is opened from the Survivors, and we have the Charger, Smoker, and Hunter from previous, of course, and the Boomer. Smoker is trying to get a separation pull there, can't quite do it. There's going to be a Hunter landing as well as a Smoker. That's a nice dual cap, actually, and a quad boom. Well, I mean, the damage isn't huge, but it's definitely not that bad, really. I mean, how you make an attack like that work to that extent is beyond me, honestly. That's very well played. Survivors climb up this ladder here and make their way through the upcoming tunnel. Or, well, sewer system. Hunter, Charger, and Jockey with the Spitter. Hunter is respawned ahead of the Survivors. Going to be looking to wall kick the first guy. Or girl, if it's Rochelle. Hunter just making a little bit of noise, just to be a nuisance. It's going to be Hunter first, but oh, one-shot skeet by Ramirez there. Ooh, followed by the Charger shutdown, followed by the Spitter shutdown. And, well, who needs M2s? He's killing. He nearly actually killed that Jockey without needing to M2 it, honestly. He juked the hell out of it, and then he shot it a few times. So, Ramirez definitely Survivor MVP so far for this chapter, that's for sure. Hunter and Smoker. Boomer is going to move in above the Survivors. Onto 2, possibly 3. Not quite 3. 2 people boomed here. Hunter and Smoker and Charger all moving in. But again, Ramirez with the ski. Death Charge is a success. Oh, that's ruthless. That's brutal. That's not what they wanted whatsoever. Oh my goodness. Gracious me. That is a death charge. And there we have it. Wow. The Survivors have been reduced to 3 players in the grand final. That's so unfortunate for them. So fortunate for Favela, though. Imagine if we had a war room on that moment. Boomer first onto 1 Survivor, and Hunter from behind. Spit is going to delay them. Nice one-shot skeet by Ramirez again. Him being a very good player on Survivor, but oh, R.I.P. Rochelle. They literally are incapable of repopulating the Earth now as well, so it's unfortunate for them. Charger, Smoker, and a Hunter is the tri-cap with a Boomer. Boomer from below onto 2 Survivors. Smoker will be probably looking for Nick here. Does indeed go for Nick. Charger can't get the second death charge, of course. Well, there's not really much he can do there. But there we have it. Survivors are still on good HP. You know, their health bonus, even with 3 people, is still decent. But, I mean, how much further are they really going to make it with 3 people versus a tank that's just now spawning up? That tank being in the hands of Caution, the OCE player. That's going to be tank immediately onto Ellis there. And, well, he's just trying to make distance points, I presume. As are his 2 accomplices. Alarm car triggered. 4 damage pounds is going to land onto Coach, followed by a rock, followed by a punch. He's going to be surely in-capped here. He's actually not, because the tank retreats. Following rock onto Coach is going to be successful. Charge is going to get a scratch charge. Tank is continuing to throw rocks, and really there's not much to report on here, honestly. That guy ends up jumping as well, so that's unfortunate, but there we have it. I mean, Survivors did have three people rather than 4, so that's so unfortunate. I can't imagine how Kyo must feel, honestly, because that is devastating to be death charged in a grand final. So very unfortunate for him, but of course, you know, it does happen here and there. Nobody's perfect, and I have been death charged on Hard Rain Map 1 more times than I'd like to admit, so I can't really talk. Okay, right. So we are calling the 1-0. Oh, so it works like that. So it's going to be a 1-0, and then if the other guys win again, it's a 1-1. So okay, that's interesting. I like that. So it doesn't really matter how much you win by if you know. Oh, we're going live? Yes, admin panel. Okay, yeah. So a little bit of downtime for the time being, ladies and gentlemen. Team ShonK did actually decide on GGing early here, so looking like we're going to go on to the next map, which is, I believe, Die Scraper, but it could also be Hard Rain Downpour, but, you know, could be Die Scraper. Either or, I'm excited for both, honestly. Excited for either or. In the meantime, of course, feel free to BRB, as I probably will in just for a little bit, just to get a drink of water. I suggest that anybody watching does the same, if at all possible, because you know, we do have some downtime as we speak. We're going to be waiting to move on to the next. Yeah, Die Scraper. There it is. It is indeed Die Scraper. So.
Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'm dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste.
I already know what to expect, of course. The name of this map is quite self-explanatory. Die Scraper. That is indeed what we are going to see. So if this ends up tying it up, then potentially it comes down to Hard Rain Downpour, which is going to be, you know, the final deciding map. Okay, so I will be just maybe 30 seconds. I really won't be very long at all, but I'll just really quickly be right back. Only 30 seconds.
They snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan. I need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Heard that wonder when I'm gonna peak at, and that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish. Yeah. I feel on top of the world. I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world. I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world. I want to conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world. I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world. I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world. I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted
Why, hello there. Do you know what? This map really brings me a lot of nostalgia, actually, because I remember playing this map as far back as maybe 2014, 13 time. I genuinely remember playing this map a very long time ago. I've never commentated it though, actually, so that would be interesting. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot I don't remember about this map, actually, because I haven't played it in so long. I'll be reminded of everything as we go through it, though, because, you know, it's all starting to ring a bell. But yes, it is currently 1-0 to Favela. We are now on Die Scraper, which, if you're just tuning in, we aren't just beginning now. We are on the second of the 3 maps. We have already just played Carried Off, and we're now on to Die Scraper. And Ellis exploring the low ground there. Just got a few more people that will be waiting on, and we should be good to go. But you know, for the time being, we still have a little bit more downtime.
Hey, thanks a lot.
But as we can see here, though, there's a lot of high ground and low ground, which is going to make it interesting for the survivors in terms of death charges. Let's just hope that, especially for the sake of ShonK, that they don't suffer anymore. All the survivors on the lamppost. Interesting. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful morning, evening, night, or afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. I'm sure there are many regions watching, as there are many regions playing, so...
I'm on this here ledge.
I can see the survivors are quite bored here. I saw something like meal prep or something like that, so... I think somebody's preparing some meals. looking like again they are going to run that shotgun heavy setup as well. The survivors. Team ShonK versus Team Favela in the grand finals of the United Nations tournament. We have a restroom break as well, a toilet break, which, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Good shit always comes in vents.
So welcome all once again. If to anybody who is just tuning in, you have missed the first installment, as in the first map, but you know this is the grand final, and it is part 2 to this three-part series, really. ShonK are obviously going to be hoping to make a point here, though they are going to want to win this one because that is going to put them back on an even keel, so to speak.
Hey Alice, that's a bathtub. You ever seen one before?
Have you smelled yourself recently?
Fair enough.
Whoa, okay. Rochelle got very hostile with with Ellis for a second there.
Well, this is unexpected. Sorry, yo.
Okay, we have one more person on the restroom break, and we will be going live once they return.
Hey, if anyone don't mind, could use a.
I'm so excited, you know. I'm honestly like a little bit jittery almost. I'm quite shaky because I really just I love grand finals. I really do.
Hey, if y'all missed me, I'm over here hanging. Oh, much obliged.
I wonder how this first attack is going to go as well, because, you know, survivors are going to have to get past the charger here. And, well, could even stumble some people off the ledge. You never know, really. He has a jockey to help him as well as a smoker, so honestly not the worst setup for potential death charges, really. And ladies and gentlemen, the second half of this 3-part series of the United Nations Grand Finals is now live. We are bringing to you tonight, on this morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you're watching from, Team ShonK versus Team Favela. Survivors dropping down. Smoker first, Charger second. Charger can't get any death charge, really, but he does get a charge spit combination. He pulls Rochelle out of the spit, but then back into the death spit, so the damage is about the same, really. Survivors took an evenly spread deal of damage there, and the tank is immediately spawning here in the hands of Sheep again. Going to be playing the first tank again. Hunter, Boomer, and Jockey in the hands of the Special Infected. Tank is looking to close the distance between himself and the survivors. He is moving. He does have to get through a fair bit of this this indoor area before reaching the tank, though. Boom onto one survivor. That could open up some opportunities. Tank is a little bit far away, though. He probably won't make it in time with the Boomer, honestly. And he's having to be guided by the Hunter in Ghost mode as well, because, yeah, it's definitely going to be quite confusing without that, so probably best that you do that. Tank has no choice, really, but to move in here. He's on pass number 2 on 50%, and in he moves for the survivors. Trying to land the first punch onto Nick. Very nicely juked, though. That's going to be a double punch, followed by a single punch onto Rochelle. Charger is going to land, however, get cleared. Hunter is also going to land, as well as the Jockey. That's going to be lots of pinning here. That's going to be a tank on 3000 HP, incapacitating Nick and Rochelle. And, you know, he's going to go for more damage here, actually. Melee weapon is out, though, from Ellis. He needs 2 more punches in total. He misses a punch and he goes down. And the survivors do manage to just barely survive there. My goodness. Whoa, they can breathe, but for how long, I don't know. Because they, you know, as you can see, they have 3 sets of pain pills and 4 people really need them. So, tank is dead, but at the cost of most of their health bonus. And they're only at 5% as well, so... Charger moves in, scratch charge combination with the potential spitter. Spit's a little bit late though, so the damage will be mitigated by that. One person boomed, and that is all she wrote for the survivors as they continue to make their way forward. down the drop-down choke point as well, so they don't have to worry about a smoker separation there. Charger, Jockey, and Hunter, followed by the Boomer. Survivors going lower and lower. Now pretty much underground by this point. Very nice detail to this map, actually, this little underground part. And they have another drop-down choke point as well to traverse. It's going to be a Hunter, Jockey, and Charger with the Boomer for the tri-cap. Boomer's already spawned up, but can pretty much afford to be, because they can't really do much about her. Nick drops down first. Boomer's landing onto 3 survivors there. Jockey first gets the separation. They're going to have to drop down here, really. Charger lands as well as Hunter. That's a very nice tri-cap and so much damage pouring onto the survivors here. Those poor souls. That's going to be the Charger, eventually cleared by Coach. That's going to be a possible in-cap onto Nick. And yeah, guaranteed, really, honestly. He is indeed incapacitated there. That's going to be the Jockey getting some more scratches onto Coach before meeting his demise. They still have maintained the health bonus somewhat, but, you know, for how much longer? I don't know. Hunter, Smoker, and a Spitter is all that they have right now. They have 5 more seconds to wait for the final spawn. Hunter moves in first at the staircase, Spitter second, Smoker third, keeping Ellis in the spit. He will be in cap there. That's more of their health bonus eliminated, and the boom onto Ellis could make their lives difficult here with the common infected. Which it is indeed doing so, it's making their lives quite hectic. Charger is ready and waiting, misses the spawn though, and survivors will continue to make distance points, which, you know, distance points is the best they can really hope for here, honestly. Charger, Jockey, Hunter, and a Smoker. It's a quad cap, so let's see how this pans out. Survivors just about making it to 70% right now. Smoker spawns up, looking to go in first, I believe. Jockey moves in first, gets so effortlessly shut down though. Charger does end up landing onto Ellis. That will be an in-cap. That will be a Hunter onto Rochelle, who was black and white, so will be meeting her demise. Loud, aka Ellis, after he is revived, is black and white, and Ramirez, aka Nick, is also black and white. Just traversed 80% and continuing to go upward, but you know, this is definitely very much a dead air map 4 kind of map. Boom behind the car, onto 1 survivor. Jockey, Spitter, and Smoker. Spit is going to move in for the survivors. That's going to be the, well, the death of pretty much everybody, honestly. That's going to be the in-cap of Coach, and, well, Ellis is black and white. And he goes down. So there we have it. 441 points in the hands of Team ShonK. We will now be moving on to Favela's survivor side, which is going to be, you know, Die Scraper Chapter 1. Reversing the roles, Favela on the survivor side and ShonK on the special infected.
That was close.
I guess they ran out of bridges to bomb. Christ, those guys are such assholes.
Just going to have to see really how this how ShonK do play on this map, because it's obviously a new map, it's new territory, it's a fresh new start really, so let's just hope for their sake that they do pull something out of the bag special infected wise though, because they do pretty much need to. As you know, they are currently behind in the sense that Favela won the previous round, so Jockey moves in with the Smoker, can't quite get any death charges, ends up connecting with the Spitter regardless. That was actually nearly a death charge, that was so close. However, nicely avoided. Hugging the railing. Lost the word there for a second. Tank is going to be spawning up in the hands of Loud MB. There is going to be his supporting setup in 1 second, which is a Boomer, Hunter, and Jockey. Boomer especially is going to be quite key here, so let's just see if the Boomer ends up landing. Tank definitely knows where he's going a little bit more so than the survivors, that's for sure. He's a lot closer to them already. We do have a pause coming out here, but yeah, Tank is looking comfortable so far. Two very, very good teams here, so. ShonK, of course, as we say, they are on the back foot, so let's just see what they can do here. They are marked as ready, the survivors, so we are back to live. Boomer moves in first, getting a boom actually. That could open up something for the tank. Only one person though. Does he want to go in with one person boom? I'm not entirely sure. I think he's choosing to do so. Potentially, maybe not. Yes, he is indeed choosing to do so. Looking for the first pin here. Going to be looking for several punches. Going to be punching Coach repeatedly here. Charger lands. Hunter is going to land as well. That's a decent dual cap, but the tank isn't really making a huge amount happen here. And that's going to be his death with only one incapacitation here. So Favela playing very, very well, even on this, even on Die Scraper as well. So their lead is gradually climbing. Smoker, Boomer, and Splitter. In 2 more seconds, it will be a jockey. Smoker moves in behind at the window frame. Jockey in front onto Rochelle. Not really much happening from it, though. Boomer last, which more than likely is on purpose to try to get a quad cap. Because, well, it's not over just yet, but, you know, if they make it with this health bonus, then it's looking like a good lead for them. So, quad cap is definitely a favourable thing. Smoker, Charger, and Hunter. So if it's a jockey, it is a quad cap, and it is a jockey. So it's a quad cap. In it moves, Hunter and everything moving in, and, well, that's... Oh, I mean, the jockey and Hunter landed, and Smoker landed briefly, but, you know, it was a little bit stagnated. Wasn't quite as well executed as they would have hoped for, and well, survivors will be continuing. This definitely does remind me of Dead Air Chapter 4, though, when you get to just where the safe room is. Hunter Charger with a Spitter and a Boomer. Hunter is pre-spawned. Going to be looking for the first survivor. There is an alarm car there as well, so that could be interesting. In moves the Hunter. Going to be looking for Coach here. Charger is unsuccessful, as is the Hunter. One-shot skeet by Dana. And that is all she wrote. Survivor's going to be pushing through this common infected horde here, because there's only one person boomed, and he has a golf club, so he's good to go. Survivor's just about to, overtake their predecessors. They have made it further. And yeah, I mean, safe room is very close. Jockey is going to be moving in, looking to delay the survivors. They're just outside the safe room door here. And they will be making it in with what looks to be a very good health bonus, and indeed it is. They make it into the safe room, and they already have a comfortable lead at 976 points. Versus 441. As we now move into chapter number 2 of Die Scraper, things are shaping up to be very much in favor of whatchamacallit, Favela. So far, at least. Whoa, could I load any slower? It's definitely a very strong roster though on Team Favela with Caution, OZ, Dana, and Dr. Sheep. Dana, of course, being a pretty well-known name, honestly, in the community, as well as honestly, everybody here is well-known. Let's be honest. I mean, they're grand finalists, all 8 of them. I'm sure we mostly know who they are. And we're going live on chapter number 2 of Die Scraper. Favela with that lead, but it's narrow enough to not really be too problematic. Let's see how this Charger Hunter Jockey combination goes. Charger moves in first. That's going to be a Hunt Spit combination, a little bit of a late one. However, Coach still does take some damage, and they do delay by killing the Spitter in the door frame. Not to mention last as well. So killing the Spitter last is going to increase their likelihood of getting a quad cap. Tank going to be at 66%. So we have a little bit more of the map to go through before the tank spawns. Boom first onto one survivor. Charger is moving in for Ellis. Gets a stumble, but not a charge. And the Hunter lands briefly. Smoker can't really do much here, apart from just, get some consolation damage onto Coach and call it there, really. 8 seconds remaining. No, 10 seconds, excuse me, for the special infected. Before everything is up. They have a Jockey and Spitter so far. Spitter and Boomer. Of course, after that, it is going to end up being a 2-2, which is a Jockey Hunter with the Spitter and Boomer. As we can see, the Hunter is pre-spawned ahead of the survivors in that little building there. In moves the Hunter by wall kick, so effortlessly shut down. Nice curve vomit from the Boomer. However, not really much can happen from the Spitter because, well, nothing really landed. They end up killing the Spitter last again, so, with that kind of sack order, increases likelihood of a quad cap, so let's just see if it turns into one.
Everybody grab a weapon. Gotta reload.
It appears the survivors have ammunition replenishment as well, so that is going to be good for them.
I never thought I'd miss a gun so much.
Ends up being a quad cap for Team ShonK, and, a nice quad cap could really put them back into this game, for sure, so let's just see how they end up playing it out, though. Survivors currently in this little kitchen area. Smoker first. Interceptions from the Hunter and Charger. Oh, it was so close. Everything landed, but again, not at the same time. That's so unfortunate for Team ShonK. I literally feel sorry for them right now. Because that was not that bad. That was pretty well executed. Just the Jockey was the last person to land, and it's, unfortunate. But, they can't dwell on it. They have to move forward, and there's going to be a Boomer, Smoker, and Hunter, along with a tank. Tank being in the hands of Ramirez, who has shown himself to be very good this game, actually. Hunter and Smoker both move in. Hunter is going to land onto Ellis in the doorway. They've taken some damage, not lethal amounts, but they've definitely taken some damage. Rochelle will have to take her pills when the tank comes in, because otherwise she's 2 punches away from being down, pretty much. She's 44 HP, so yeah, 2 punches and she's down. The Jockey and Charger with the Boomer. Charger's moving in for Rochelle on the low ground there. Tank is looking to try and land the rock with the distraction. The distraction is good, but the rock jukes are even better. Doesn't manage to land a rock and has chosen to reposition. Pass number 2, 88% HP remaining. Not the worst place in the world to fight the tank, actually. So let's just see how it pans out for them. Smoker, Hunter, and Boomer. That's not too bad, actually. In moves the tank onto the high ground. Wants to chase them off that. Nice punch onto Nick, followed by another. He's going to pin Nick in the corner here, and the special infected will just simply wait for the in-cap. In-cap is successful. Hunter moves in, gets a nice pin onto Rochelle, followed by the rock and punch. That's going to be lots of damage onto Rochelle. Not quite an in-cap, which is well played to the survivors to clear that quickly. There is ammunition replenishment here as well. Even a knife, actually. So
Thank you.
Here they come.
Crescendo has been triggered right after the tank's death, and they have no more pain pills, but at the moment, nobody needs any. Boomer and Spitter with the Jockey and the Charger. In moves the Jockey first and foremost. Dead stops and shut down, though. Charger moves in, connects with the doorway, and Spitter can't make much happen as a result, and all that's left is the Boomer. Ends up getting dead stops repeatedly, and can't quite get... So, ends up getting shut down without any boom.
Reloading here.
Got distracted a bit there, actually. I was looking at those little kind of things they have on the wall, those posters. Oh, that's really nice. Smoker from behind onto Nick. Going to be pulling him briefly. Hunter in front as well as Jockey and Charger. It was a quad cap, but didn't end up being one in the end. Still a decent attack, but not much more to speak of as the survivors continue their journey. 86% of the map, and well, safe room isn't too far away. So again, they're going to make it with a pretty good health bonus at this rate, and further extend their pretty worrying lead. At least worrying for ShonK anyway. Boomer first onto one survivor is successful. Hunter is going to, well, try to synchronize with the Spitter, but the Spitter gets shut down as the Hunter landed. And that is all she wrote. Nick is now slow, everybody else is fast, but, you know, it's likely Rochelle is going to be, well, I mean, I should probably stop talking because I forgot that's where the safe room is. 124 points per survivor. That is not good. That is what you call not good. 2,172 points here in the hands of Favela. 441 points in the hands of ShonK. Will be interesting to see. I mean, in order to kind of scrape a lead back, they are going to have to make it to the safe room here with everybody on permanent HP. That's pretty much a necessity right now. If they want to stay in the game at least, because it's looking like at this rate, Favela could be looking to take game number 2 as well. So let's of course hope, for the sake of ShonK, that they do pull something out of the bag here. They do need to step up a little bit here. And, of course, easier said than done, but, you know. Grand finals are probably the least likely to have anybody calm. I doubt anybody's going to be calm during a grand final. Even if they are good at masking it. So, second half. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, in the United Nations Grand Finals between Favela, currently on the infected side, and ShonK, currently on the survivor side. Very promising leads thus far. Mounted by Team Favela. Hunter and Jockey both moving in, as well as the Charger. Charger is unsuccessful. Hunter and Spitter are both successful, and the Charger gets a scratch. So, you know, not awful damage, but again, not terrible damage, really. It's okay. It's not great. 10 seconds remaining for the remainder of the special infected. Thus far, we have a Smoker Boomer, and a Jockey, and a Hunter. Survivors are going to be moving quite cautiously here. They're going to be getting past this little jukebox room and heading out. It is a tri-cap without the Charger, so let's see how that pans out. Hunter could also get potentially even a 25 damage pounce here, honestly, because that's definitely possible here. I mean, in Left 4 Dead 1, this is probably like 100 damage pounce opportunity, let's be honest.
Reloading.
Hunter with some pretty nice wall kicks here, going to be moving in for the survivors. A little bit late for the damage pounce though. Survivors do make it into the inside area here in this building, which is a good decision actually, to be honest. And as we can see so far, They're definitely looking pretty switched on, but let's just see how they fare with the tank.
Machine gun.
Just about making it to halfway through the map as they make it into this little diner area here with the all these nice little menus that are all over the place that look very good. Even a Midnight Riders poster here, that's amazing. A lot of detail gone into this map. Smoker first, Charger second. Charger is going to combine with the Spitter on Nick, and that's going to be good damage, actually. Again, not too problematic for the survivors, but by the same token, it's not too bad for the Special Infected. 5 seconds remaining. Tank is going to spawn for the survivors. They are already in the spot that they want to be in. Were looking to chase the tank there. They didn't quite succeed. So no chip just yet on the tank. Jockey, Hunter, and a Charger is up for the Special Infected. Hunter is crouching around, looking like he might want to go pretty soon, actually. Just pouncing around, being a nuisance for the time being. Jockey, Charger, and Hunter all moving in. Jockey is shut down. Hunter is going to land briefly, but shut down in 0.22 seconds. And that's all she wrote for the Special Infected. Tank in the hands of Caution, the OCE player, among the rest. He's just about made it to the survivors, you know, on pass number 2. He will have to go in pretty soon. In he moves for the survivors, on the high ground first. Smoke onto Ellis is not quite successful, however Tank goes for Nick and ends up pinning him in the corner. That's one in cap at least. Boomer is going to move in with the Jockey. Jockey is looking for somebody, gets dead stopped as well as stumbled and all sorts. Tank is still looking for that final punch. Gets a final punch before dying, and well, this is actually looking good for the survivors here. If they can actually make it with this kind of health, then they could actually take the lead back here, so it's getting intense, actually. Favela may end up underestimating their opponents here. However, there is a crescendo to get through, so it's not over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. They are fighting tooth and nail. They do not want to go out without fighting. And that's exactly what's being displayed here. Hunter, Smoker, and Charger with the Spitter. Everything moving in. Smoker first, Hunter third, actually. That's going to be Spit combining with the charge and a body block from the Spitter, so that's a lot of health bonus eliminated there, and they need to be careful of that, the survivors, they really do. It even has its own subway line. It's subway red line, north-south. Wow. There's a lot of detail that's gone into this map, actually. I do respect that. Smoker and Jockey with a Charger and a Boomer. Boomer first, onto one survivor. It's a decent boom. Smoker tries to get the separation, can't quite do so, and only the Spitter is dead so far. They might actually look to respawn this and end up going for a quad cap instead, which, yeah, looks like they are going to try to do. Although in before Boomer. It is a Hunter, so it is a quad cap. Their last attempt as well, so, you know, let's hope they don't get quad capped outside the safe room. In moves the Charger, shut down though. As is the Hunter. As is the Jockey, as is the Smoker. Very good shutdown indeed, and survivors, yeah, they pretty much have to get into the elevator, and that's it. So, in they move. And they will make it with a good health bonus as well, so they are still behind, but not by very much, so that's good for them. If it is indeed, you know, 1-1, if ShonK end up winning, then, you know, that's definitely going to be favourable for them. And we move. 2,172 points in the hands of Favela. 1,917 points in the hands of ShonK. Well, this is very familiar. I remember this back from 2013 time. This, of course, being the actual die scraper part of it. Definitely a much closer game now, actually. So let's just see what ShonK can pull out the bag here, because they could end up taking the lead back. And well, if that was any indication of what they're capable of, I'm looking forward to it. And we're gonna be going live. Survivors in the elevator, gonna be making their way out first and foremost into an immediate attack, which is a Hunter, Charger, and Smoker, along with a Boomer. And out they move. Boomer is dead stopped, but regardless ends up landing on 2. Hunter, Smoker, and Charger all land. Hunter is still landed as well, so, well, that's a good start. That's definitely a good start for them. Very good start indeed for the Special Infected. Good damage onto Ellis, and, well, they do have to wait 9 seconds now for the next attack, but still. This is nostalgic as heck. Really missed this map, actually. Charger and Jockey with the Spitter and Boomer. There is this drop-down choke points to consider. Let's just see how the survivors do fare here. I wonder who they'll send down first. I would imagine Ellis, because he's the lowest, but you never know. Or maybe Sheep, because he's the lowest ping. I wonder. Charger moves in first. Can't quite land the connection. Neither can, well, anything, honestly. Boomer ends up trying to get a boom here. Is behind some walls and, well. Is the Boomer going to land? It does indeed land, actually, on one survivor. Tank may actually move in with this. Looking like he's going to. In this absolute maze of an office. Can't quite close the distance from for the survivors. Very nice one-shot skeet by Ozzy there. In moves the tank. He's going to be looking for some punches here. Specifically onto Coach, actually, inside that little kind of table cubicle. Nice double punch there. Another double punch. And a stumble, followed by Curve Rock and incapacitation. Tank is, well, I mean, he's past number 1, but he's 6% HP. 385. Goes for the Curve Rock. Can't quite land it. In moves the Charger. That's a decent scratch charge. I mean, Tank, though, he can only land Curve Rocks here. That's all he can hope for. Boom onto 2 survivors, though. That's a good result as well. Survivors choosing to push forward because they know the Tank is weak. Curve Rock. Well, I mean, nice Curve Rocks, honestly. However, none really landing. Other than 1, I believe. Tank is going to end up dying there, unfortunately, and that's the end of his life, but still, good damage overall. Boomer's moving in, but, well, gets shut down. No boom landed. Smoker is moving in with the Spitter, presumably. That might be miscommunication, though. I'm not sure what the Smoker's intending on doing here. Yes, I remember this theater area. Smoker from behind as well as the Charger. Gonna be, well, looking for the death charge, but it ain't gonna happen. It will be an in-cap at the very least. Potentially, not quite, but probably still will be because they're gonna in-cap him on purpose. Yep, there they go. No black and white survivors just yet. Essentially, they're going through a cinema right now, through a movie theater, which is nice. In moves the Hunter as well as Jockey. Nice separation, nice landing all together, other than the Boomer, unfortunately. But still, he distracted, and that's all you can ask for. That's going to be an in-cap onto Nick in the back, and he is now black and white as well. So, I don't know what's happened recently, but Team ShonK are definitely playing a lot better in this installment, for sure. They already have that charge spit combination, Team ShonK, followed by the Hunter, and in 1 more second it will be a Boomer. So it's a 2-2. Hunter and Charger both moving in. Hunter first, Charger second. That's going to be a charge spit combination. Not the most ideal spread, however, it still will be a death onto Nick. Very well played. That's going to be one survivor eliminated at 57% of the map. 3 remain. Rochelle, Coach, and Ellis. Dana, Sheep, and Caution.
Here they come. Reloading here.
Let's just see how this next attack fares. It is actually a quad cap for 3 survivors. In moves the Hunter. Hunter lands. Smoker lands. Jockey, potentially, maybe? Charger is unsuccessful, though, so that's unfortunate. However, it's going so badly for them regardless. Charger is going to incap Ellis as well, and that is all she wrote. Survivors have been wiped. Down goes Rochelle, and that concludes it. 403 points achieved. They don't make it to the safe room. So, the ball is back into ShonK's court. And they really do need to take the lead back here again. Like previously, they need to make it with a health bonus that is good enough to put them back in the lead, pretty much. And of course, if they take the lead back again, then we really do have a game on our hands here. And they're more than capable, so... Just going to have to see how they fare on their survivor side here. Definitely an even split overall with the pings. But yes, we are going live, ladies and gentlemen. Second half of this chapter. Everything moving in. Boomer by proxy onto one survivor. Charger is going to be intercepting. That is actually a tri-cap. Not very long-lasting one. And pretty good clears. Made that look a lot worse than it actually was. That was a very good tri-cap, but, you know, the clears were just so good that it didn't really do much. Survivor's definitely very fast-paced here, actually. They're choosing to drop down immediately, yeah, indeed. Less attacks being committed. They're going to get rid of the Spitter in preparation for the tank. Hunter climbs out into safety. Boomer and Jockey still in ghost mode as we speak. Two more seconds remaining for the 4th and final spawn, that being a Charger. So they do have a tri-cap, Hunter, Charger, and Jockey. With the Boomer, tank is spawning up. Charger moves in, but ends up just simply eliminating himself because he was becoming the tank. Boom onto one survivor. They're pushing into the tank immediately. That's going to be several punches onto Nick here. A lot of melee swings, though. They have to be careful of that. That's going to be an in-cap onto Nick and a double punch onto Rochelle as well. Hunter lands, will be cleared immediately after. Several punches landing. Tank is not taking a lot of damage here either. That's going to be Rochelle continuously punched as well as Coach here. Not looking good for the survivors, ladies and gentlemen. This could be a wipe. And, well, it is indeed a wipe. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking good for our poor boys on Team ShonK. They still achieved, you know, somewhat of some points to make it up. And, you know, they're not behind by a huge deficit. But then again, that is not a good result for them at all. That's very unfortunate because they have been playing quite well. And, you know, it was looking like a comeback, but, you know, they have more chances at least. And here we are. Continuing this this die scraper installment. I do wonder if they have what it takes, really, to mount this comeback, because Hard Rain Downpour is the 3rd and final map, but of course that does depend on whether or not Favela can be dethroned at the moment. Because right now it's looking very convincing for Favela and not so much for ShonK, but, you know, still some promising moves here and there coming out of Team ShonK as we go live in the... well, in this die scraper installment. Let's just see how everything unfolds. Smoker, Charger, and a Jockey is the setup, along with the Spitter. Charger moves in first, can't quite land the connection, and neither can the Jockey or Smoker, really. The survivors don't really make it too far, and they do take some damage with the Spit, that being mostly onto Coach and a little bit onto Rochelle as well. Onwards and upwards for the survivors, going to be making their way up this little staircase here and through the door. Boom onto 2 survivors. That is a tri-cap as well. In they move. Charger and Hunter both land in unison, and that's going to be some decent damage. Jockey couldn't quite make as much happen, but still.
Reloading.
Smoker so far for the survivors,
Reloading.
of whom are going to be making their way up to this little helipad area here. Smoker from behind is shut down very quickly by the tongue. And, well, Jockey, same thing. And Boomer from behind is already spawned up. Nice pull onto Rochelle, actually, into the Boomer, and does actually get the Boomer as a result, so that's not too bad. However, this is going to be interesting, because this is this is essentially a finale, really. Hunter and Charger with the Jockey and the Spitter, so they have a tri-cap with a Spitter. Survivors definitely making good use of that high ground as well, you know, with the boxes and the little shelves. Definitely a favourable thing to be using. Hunter moves in first, but is skeeted. That's going to be a Charger landing as well as, well, the Spit. Yeah, Spit actually didn't quite go where it wanted to, where the Spitter wanted it to go. Ended up spitting where she was, unfortunately. Sometimes that can happen. Normally, the reason that happens is because you forget to jump as you spit, so you end up, you know, not able to get it over the edge. Spitter and a Boomer, with a Smoker and a Hunter. Smoker first, going to be looking for somebody, can't quite get it. One shot skeet by Sheep as well. Smoker is shut down, Boomer does get a boom onto 1 survivor. However, obviously the Spitter can't really do much from it. Survivor's going to be looking to get this tank up. Tank is indeed up, so in the hands of Nevermore. Let's see what Nevermore can bring to the table for Team ShonK. Going to need some help from his allies, though, his Smoker, Hunter, and Charger. For sure. They're going to be getting rid of that, actually. Charger isn't quite successful. Smoker lands for a brief period. Hunter is moving in. And, well, Ellis needs to be careful there, actually, because he could have potentially eaten a rock there. Currently around about 900 points separating these two teams in this installment, so it's very crucial for Team ShonK that they get the wipe here. But that's not going to help them get a wipe, though, unfortunately. That is a Boomer shutdown, so that's unlucky for them. Tank on pass number 2 as well, so it doesn't really have much option but to go in here. 35%, so yeah, indeed no choice but to go in. Looking for that first pin, gets the first pin onto Ellis on the low ground, misses another punch though, unfortunately. Well, misses 1 punch. That's going to be a separation Jockey. Charger is going for Nick in the pool there, but can't quite get him. Tank is going to continue to punch Ellis here. Imagine if that glass could break. That would be hell. Tank does end up going down, though, achieving as much as 1 incapacitation, and that's it.
Appreciate it, Coach.
No problem,
There's
Ellis.
something for you.
So, I mean, their distance points will continue to climb here, really, because, well, there you have it. They end up killing the tank. More Horde to deal with, though. It is a Boomer and Spitter with a Smoker and a Hunter. Smoker first, on to Nick. Hunter is a little bit delayed, ends up getting skeeted as well, so there you have it. one-person boom. Nothing else really to follow from it, though, because Spitter can't really do anything without the help of allies, usually.
Reloading here.
6 more seconds remaining on the clock before we get our remaining spawns. Jockey and a Charger so far, with a Smoker and a Hunter. It is a quad cap, actually, so let's see how they pull this off. In moves the quad cap. Hunter first. Jockey is going to land, as well as, well, a tri-cap, and a very, very good one, actually. Good clears, but that's a lot of health bonus gone. And, well, nobody in-capped, but still. Very good attack, even if the I mean, to be honest, even if the quad cap doesn't land, you can still do a lot of damage with it. It is quite scary to face a quad cap, really, because it has a lot of potential. Boomer first. Oh, 1 to 3 survivors. Very well played by the Boomer there. Survivors now back into the previous position, that being in the pool. Tank probably going to look to go in with this, honestly, which, yes, indeed he does do so. Misses the first punch onto Nick. Will be looking to pin Nick, though, and does indeed do so. That's 2 punches as well, and he's in-capped. Nice jump punch there as well on the ledge there. Very well played. Hunter moves in. Skeeted effortlessly, though. Charger and Tank both moving in. Charger is unsuccessful, but his distraction allows a rock to land at least, as well as a Jockey. Curve rocks. That was actually going to hit the Jockey if he didn't skeet that, so he actually saved the Jockey there. So Survivor's not in good health anymore, but this, of course, is the second tank, not the first, so that is kind of expected at this point. Tank this time in the hands of Keo, so let's just see how he can play this tank. Boomer first isn't successful, though. That's a 2-shot skeet as well. So Hunter, Smoker, and Boomer all shut down. Tank on pass number 2 as well, so yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, but not really much he can do about it, really, because he's too low. Tank ends up going down to the survivors, so they have killed 2 of the 2 tanks there, and well, now it's time to seal the deal. I'm assuming the helicopter is, yes, indeed, approaching, so, yep. They have to make it here, and the Jockey ends up getting a separation Jockey, but cleared very nicely by, I believe, a Magnum there. Here is the chopper, though, and they have to get to it. Currently on the helipad, a very dangerous place to be, actually, but then again, only a Boomer, and what can the Boomer really do? So, there we have it. Survivors did actually make it with all 4 survivors, and as we see, the helicopter is making its way. And of course, we have a lovely little cutscene here as the survivors all make it out to safety. So, only 14 points per survivor, but you know they're very far ahead right now, and it really is all up to it's really up to ShonK to kind of make it with a good health bonus, but they have 2 tanks to make it through, which is, you know, easier said than done. Wasting absolutely no time, though. We're going live immediately. We do have the same setup, of course. Charger moving in with the Jockey, lands in the doorway as well as the spit, as well as smoke in the spit as well, so, well, decent damage. It really is going to be quite dependent on the survivors to, well, to make it past 2 tanks, which, you know, ain't going to be easy. We have a Hunter and a Charger with the Spitter and the Boomer. Hunter is pre-spawned, going to be looking to move in. Moves in onto Nick first and foremost. Nobody follows, though. A brief stumble from the Charger, but no spits to make use of. As the survivors now move upwards into the where they need to go to trigger the crescendo. Jockey and Hunter both looking to move in. Hunter gets shut down so quickly, though, as does the Jockey. Very well played by Team ShonK. Smoker and Spitter remain. They are choosing to keep those spawns. They're going to be getting rid of the Spitter just now. Which, of course, you know, is optional, really. Maybe they could have saved it, honestly, for if they get a charger or something. But they are going for the quad cap, I know. And, well, they have a boomer, so it isn't going to be a quad cap anyway. But I'm sure that's what they were hoping for, at least. Smoker, Hunter, and Charger. Charger is charging down from the high ground there. That's going to be a nice interception from the Hunter there. Good headshots from the dual pistols of Rochelle on the Smoker to get that clear. Survivors at the moment, this is the kind of HP that they need when they make it into the chopper. Or if they make it into the chopper, let's be honest. Because the previous guys struggled. And no doubt these guys are going to struggle as well, because 1 tank is difficult enough, but 2. Charger, Jockey, and a Hunter is the tri-cap with the Spitter. Hunter moves in first and foremost, shut down so well though. That's going to be scratches onto Rochelle, who was jockeyed for a brief period, and that is good damage actually. Good damage onto Coach specifically.
Weapons over here. I guess I'll take this here machine gun.
Going to be looking at a tank spawning pretty soon. It is indeed up now. Survivors make their way into the pool, which is the traditional place to fight this tank, it would seem. Tank's moving in that little weird object. He's going to try to make something happen with it. That's very interesting, actually. Easier said than done, though. Getting it through that door frame is going to be problematic. He's going to have to probably skip it. I don't know, he's still trying. No luck, really, just yet. He ends up finally getting the luck that he wants, and down it rolls towards Nick. Very precariously, it's rolling straight towards him, actually. And Nick ends up going down. They just have the superior knowledge, really. And that's going to be Ellis pinned in the corner as well. He will be incapacitated. 2 more survivors remain. That's going to be a punch onto Coach, followed by a separation Jockey. That's going to be the end of the road. And, well, they're calling GG there, of course, because that is going to be the victory of Team Favela that came out on top in both Map 1 and Map 2. Quick shout out to Discreet there, I just saw. So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us, Krycha, and myself, Haroldson. That's all we're going to be bringing to you today. That is the United Nations tournament finalized, which, of course, it's been a pleasure to cast. So thank you very much to the administrators of the tournament. As we say, that is it from us. So thank you for tuning in. It's GG's from us, and goodbye.
And no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'ma dominate. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Savage, you've been distracted, your best my average, there's a reason for that's a fact. So they snapping back, mad at the fact that I don't have a backup plan, I need that. Outworking everybody when I relax, so I ain't tripping about none of y'all feedback. Every day I wonder when I'm gonna peak at, and that's why you count your blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, now everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stopped till I finish. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now.
Gosh, boys. Thank you. Krycha, what the fuck? Why are you guys all hosting me?
Balance DZ is very bad.
Thank you.
It's very bad.
shots on the man with the plot and we only go bombs away.
What, this out?